Yo, what's good, everybody? This is your boy Clock Sports, man. Um, I know you guys been paying attention on the KD saga. I haven't really pay attention to it. I was just waiting to see what was gonna happen. Now this saga is over, and we know this man gonna stay in Brooklyn. Charles Barkley make an interesting statement about this man. So I'm just here to really break it down and give my perspective. And the reason why I was really not making KD's videos, bro, because I was tired of cooking KD. I cooked that man so much. I barbecue his ass, I boil his ass, I put his ass on the grill. I cooked that man every fashion you can think of. So it's like I was sick and tired of cooking KD. But as usual, Skip Bayless, aka the Capper, aka KD lover, aka KD ball snapper. So he gonna be out here capping for him, for his boyfriend. And I'm gonna be out here exposing his ass. Alright, let's go.
Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome into Undisputed. Sure, glad you're here. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Shannon Sharp, it's going to be a great weekend because we get to watch Baker tonight, Brady tomorrow night. Wait a minute, that's two quarterbacks you've always been wrong about. Congratulations.
I'm going to watch Brady, but the other guy, meh.
Yeah, you better watch him out. He's going to play into the second quarter because he needs the reps for a team in Carolina that is going to make the playoffs. Thank you.
So you in
We
simulation
will see,
say.
gentlemen. I love the confidence in the NFC South. But hey, this morning, let's start with a little NBA news. Charles Barkley, Sir Charles, now weighing in on Kevin Durant remaining with the Nets after requesting a trade earlier this summer. Barker said of KD in an interview yesterday, quote, "But if you go back and look at his career as the best player and being the leader that all goes with that, he's been an abject failure. He seems like a miserable person, man. I call him Mr. Miserable. He's never going to be happy. Everybody's giving him everything on a silver platter." Whew. As usual, Charles Barkley not holding back one bit, is he? Shannon, how much do you agree with what Barkley said?
Okay, I spy with my little eye something beginning with an E. Second word begins with a V.
E-V. E-V?
Yeah, you got it. Boom. Let's go.
I agree a lot with what he said. Skip, you said that Kevin Durant realized that he could not win a championship with Russell Westbrook as his primary ball handler. This is what KD said after winning the championship in Golden State. He said, "After winning that championship, I learned that much hadn't changed. I thought it would fill a certain void. It didn't. That's when I realized off season that the only thing that matters is the game and how much work I put into it. Everything else off the court, social media perception, isn't important. What people say, how they view you, is not important." Now, you said that one of the reasons, close confidants of Kevin Durant, said that the reason why he left Russ was to win a title. And when he won a title, it didn't fulfill it. You know why? Because he was seeking happiness in something else. A lot of times people seek happiness in a relationship, or cars, or money, and inside they're miserable. And when they get cars, they get money, they get into a relationship, they still not happy. You see Kevin Durant? You're still not happy. You won 2 titles. You won 2 Finals MVP. You're not happy. You went to Brooklyn. You built a team in your image, what you thought was going to bring you a title, and you're still not happy. Charles is absolutely right. Kevin Durant will find a way.
I mean, the reason why he wasn't really happy is because nobody was coming out the woodwork at that time and say KD is the best player. People was like, "Oh yeah, he won the championship, but look at how he won the championship." You know, you had Steph, you had Clay, you had Draymond. You know, you had a stacked deck, and people was not calling him the best player or surpass LeBron at that time. So it's like he got upset. He become very mad. He got mad at his teammates. He got mad at Golden State. And unfortunately, he left that situation. To me, I think that was the best situation for him because he's not a leader. You're not a leader. A situation like that with Golden State is perfect. All you have to do is play your role, and you back in the finals. So, but at the end of the day, KD is not gonna ever be happy because y'all gotta understand, KD was raised by a woman. He got a lot of woman trade. A lot of woman trades. And I'm not, this is not me throwing shade at his mother at all, shape and form at all. Because you can be raised by a woman at the same time, you can't have other trade. But his father, the absence of his father play a huge part of his life because if you look at KD act like a woman. Literally, he'll go back and forth with people online that he don't even know. People that don't even have a lot of subs. People who don't even have a lot of subscribers or followers on Twitter or whatever social media they use. He'll go back and forth with them. These are women trade. The absence of the father, his father, play a huge part of his life. And because he was raised by a woman, he act like a woman. First of all, look at what he did. He demanded a trade, went to management, went to the owner and said, is it the coach and the general manager or I'm out? And they sit back with him again. They talk to him and they sweet talk him. It's like you have a woman, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know your girl, you cheated, and you went on and sweet talk her. Baby, I love you. I'm never gonna cheat on you. This gonna be last time. I promise, baby. Baby, I promise. Give me a chance. I promise. I will never cheat again. And she gave in. And that's KD. KD is pure. He's like a man. It's a woman inside of him trapped inside a man's body. That's KD. So the fact that you see what you see from him, I don't expect nothing less from him. That's why when things get difficult, he quit. When things get difficult, he left. He always the job of a woman always searching for something. They're always looking for something, a better opportunity over their career, a better opportunity at work, a better opportunity, a better relationship, a guy who can fix all the box, all the squares on their boxes. So that's KD, bro. Y'all niggas got to understand, KD was raised by a woman. He have a lot of woman trades. The trade, whatever you see him doing, these are women stuff. There is no way, if I'm in his stature, I'll go back and forth with fans. No way. For what? Oh, you say I'm suck? Cool. Oh, you say something about me? Cool. I don't give a damn. I'm KD. You not. At the end of the day, if I talk to you, if I go back and forth with you, I'm just giving you clout. That's what I'm giving you. But y'all gotta understand, when you raised by a woman, man, you get a lot of woman trade. And unfortunately for KD, that's why you see him not a leader. He's not a leader. He's never gonna be a leader. And as talented he is, he's never gonna be a leader. Like back in the day, you can see the best player were the leader. Like, if you're looking at Larry Bird was the best player on his team, and he was the leader. Dr. J, before Moses Malone got there, he was the best player on his team. He was the leader until Moses Malone came, and then he took a back seat. That's why when they won the championship, Moses Malone won the final MVP. Isaiah Thomas, he was the leader of his team, and he was the best player. The Detroit Pistons were nothing until Isaiah Thomas got there. So in this era is the only era you see that the best player is not the leader. You know why? Because there's a lot of guys were raised by women. They got women tendency. They got women trade. They act like women. You know, 1 minute KD want to be traded, next minute he don't want to be traded. You know, it's a mess. So that's why I said it takes two parents to raise a child. The mother and the father must be in the child life. But I'm going to just stop there. I'm going to let Shannon keep cooking.
You give him a solution, he'll turn around and give you another problem. And until Kevin Durant, he can get...
And that's a woman for you. Whatever you do for a woman, you solve the problem, one problem, they'll turn around and give you another one. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. He was raised by his mother. His mother was his father and mother. So it's like, of course, he's going to be emotional. Of course, he's going to be what you see. That's what you're going to get from KD. I don't expecting less. I don't expecting nothing less, because once I knew what I knew, I know then that man is you know, he was raised by he's not a leader.
All upset at me, and I've never met Shannon Sharpe a day in my life, and how does he say I'm not at peace and I'm not happy? Because you're not. You're not. And you can do all this filibustering and get on Twitter and tweet people all you want to, bro. Until you find inner peace, until you find inner happiness, this is going to be your life. He doesn't want to be a leader, Skip, for the simple fact what comes along with being a leader. It takes a special type of person. You know what? A lot of times you think the best...
Yeah, what you say, Shannon, is true, but he doesn't want to be a... Part of it because he can't be a leader. He can't lead. He can't lead, Shannon. That's the thing. He's a follower. Most women are followers. That's what they are. So you take out, let me give you an example. You take out all the men, whoever become in power, the women gonna follow them. That's Kevin Durant. That's Kevin Durant. He don't know how, because the lack of men. The lack of his father on his life growing up play a part. That play a part. That's why he's not a leader. He never been a leader. Even when he wasn't OKC, he was not a leader. Russ was the leader. When he went to Golden State, he was not a leader. He was not. Steph and Draymond were the leader.
Player automatically has to be a leader, and that's not the case. But Kevin Durant runs from that responsibility, because the leader is going to get blamed when things go bad, because they're going to get all the credit when things go good, but they're going to get a lot of the blame when things go bad. Kevin Durant does not want any of that. Kevin Durant just wants to hoop. He wants to be thought of as one of these great, and he is. No question. I'm not taking that from him. He is a great player. But Skip, you understand that what comes along with being a great player is a lot of blame when things don't go well. So a lot of what Charles said is...
He is great, but I just don't see him as the highest order like people keep saying. To me, I don't think he's the highest order. I think he, to me, of all time, I think is between 25 and 30. And to me, of all time. There is a lot of players that come in the league, I think that's better than KD in the past. You know, a lot of people keep saying he between 10 and 15. Nah, 10 and 15 got Isaiah, Dr. J, Moses Malone, Elgin Baylor, Kevin McHale. You know, it's just so many names. I can't really think of them right now throughout my head. But he's a great player, no question about it. But he's like George Gervin. He's just like George Gervin, a guy who can give you bucket, but he's not. That's it. But another thing too, I want to address. People always talking about how he's a great scorer. KD have not scored 60 points yet in the NBA game. And those are most prolific scorer, they score 60 for sure. Mike have, Kobe, Wilt, most scorers they'll give you 60. Even Carmelo have scored 60. So the notion that he's such a great scorer, he have not scored 60 points yet. But I give him his props. He's still got 4 scoring titles. I give him his prop. But the greatest scorer, I think people should take a break from that.
Absolutely, it's spot on. It's absolutely, because of some of that I've been saying for the last month, the last year. Kevin Durant's going to have happiness and peace within himself. All these auxiliary things is never going to bring him that comfort.
Okay. My first reaction to everything Charles said and you just said is, man, it is open season on Kevin Durant. As Kevin tweeted the other day, hashtag blame KD. And it seems like everybody and their dog is blaming KD for this, that, and the other. I've never seen anything quite like it. Now, I will give you the Mr. Miserable, Charles Barkley, and you, Shannon, also have been.
Well, Skip, it's open season because he the only one who asked. He's a player of his stature, a guy that the Brooklyn Nets gave him everything, and then he went on to ask for a trade. So he basically blame KD. Yes, blame KD, and he stopped free agency. A lot of players was waiting to see what's gonna happen until they get a job. You got a lot of role players was sitting on ice waiting to know what's gonna happen of their career because of KD. Until the KD situation solved, no one was moving no needle to go after those other players. So yeah, blame KD because you don't want to sign a 4-year deal last year. And your deal's already kick in. You already got 10.5 million out of that deal. And by open night, KD gonna get another 10.5 million straight to his account. But yet he's still asking for a trade. Yeah, blame you.
Strong in that category from the start. Can't seem to find happiness. Mr. Sourpuss, Mr. Thin-Skinned. Well, I get all that. But I got to tell you, Shannon, in everything that Charles said other than Mr. Miserable, he is so wrong and so uninformed on so many levels that it really just makes me sick when I read this. So I'm going to start with the key word here, piggybacked. He's saying that Kevin Durant piggybacked the Golden State Warriors to back-to-back championships. Wasn't it you that first broke the news to me that after the Warriors crumbled, thanks in large part to their 2-time MVP, that Draymond Green fled into the parking lot at Oracle while crying crocodile tears and via cell phone called Kevin Durant and said, please come save us. Didn't you tell me that story repeatedly back in that time frame?
I did. I meant it as a joke, but I don't know if it actually happened in the parking lot. But he did call Kevin Durant from the locker room, and was very visibly upset because he know what happened. They had blown a 3-1 lead.
Okay.
And they were not going to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers again without Kevin Durant, Skip.
Okay. Thank you very much. So piggyback is just flat out dead wrong. They sought Kevin because they knew they couldn't beat LeBron without Kevin.
Also, if you want to go back, you got to look at the whole things. You know, I remember during the regular season when OKC, when KD was there in OKC, when they were playing the Warriors, the way it was even before they played each other. Stephen A. Smith came out and said he's hearing KD going to the Warriors. That was way before the Warriors went 79, 73, and 9. And so KD came out and shut that down. He said, man, I don't know Stephen A. Smith, and nobody in my circle talked to Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith put his chest out and say, oh, blah, blah, blah. It was a back and forth, all about nothing. So, and I went back and look at those. Even if you go back, look at those games, bro, you'll see KD, the way KD was talking to the Warriors during the regular season. You knew something was boiling. You can tell that that nigga was leaving. He probably was going to join. That was way before they win 73 and 9. So it was 2 or 3 games I was watching KD, the way he was talking to Steve Kerr, lullaby with Steve Kerr, and then how he was going back and forth with his sideline, him and Steph. They were talking. You can tell there was something cooking. And then when they got beat, he went on enjoying that team, and that's when a lot of people start having respect for him. But for me, I already know that man was not a leader, so it was not. I don't know. It wasn't a big deal to me. But to be fair, KD brought all of that to himself. You know, to me, when he got beat 3-1, I thought because he got beat that fashion, shooting 12 from 31, 10 from 31, 14 from 31. So it's like, to me, I think he was gonna go back to OKC. You know, at least take another 2 years, and then after the 2 years, everything don't work out, then he was gonna join some other super team. I don't know. But when he went into Golden State, that's when the open season started on him. But he did that to himself, though. So, you know, to much giving, much required.
They knew if it came down to superstar versus superstar, Steph versus LeBron, in the following finals in 2017 and 18, as it shaped up to be and was, they were not going to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers without the nuclear weapon, who is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is more valuable than Steph simply because he's 7 feet tall and like 7 feet 5 inches long and can shoot the lights out. Maybe not quite like Steph can, but it's pretty close what he can do, especially from mid-range.
So let me get this straight. KD is more valuable because he's taller than Steph and he can shoot over people. So why he didn't shoot over people this year then? So if your logic is correct, why he didn't shoot over Tatum? Because he's 7'5", he can shoot over anybody. So why he didn't do that? And also, I didn't know basketball is the only way somebody can be better than you is because he can shoot over you. What that means is a lot of people can shoot over people, they don't do nothing, a la KD. So your logic doesn't make no sense, Skip. Once again, this is Skip capping for his boot and KD. You know what I'm saying?
They needed a difference maker, and they went and got him. The whole team went on the team plane. They had to fly all the way across country, all the way halfway out on Long Island to recruit Kevin Durant on July the 3rd, and the bombshell obviously dropped on July the 4th. And that contingent was led by Steph Curry, and as you told me from the start, Steph, it's like he drove up in a Maserati got out, went over to the passenger door, got in and said, "You drive, Kevin." Well, it piggybacked? Are you kidding me? He didn't piggyback. No, he was it. If you want to say he was the pig, he was it. They rode Kevin to back-to-back championships, and Kevin was the back-to-back MVP, not Steph. So how do you dismiss what he did at Golden State as piggyback? Help me out.
Skip, we're not. I didn't say piggyback, but he joined a team that had just come off losing the finals and was 73-9. If what you said, if he's more valuable than Steph, shouldn't he have won one with Brook? And he hashtag blame KD. Well, what Skip Bayless does is hashtag blame Russ, hashtag blame Kyrie, hashtag blame James Harden, hashtag blame Steve Nash, hashtag blame Sean Marks. What you do is that you give Kevin Durant every excuse why he hasn't brought a title to OKC and why.
I don't see no lie at all. That's what Skip does. He blames everybody else. He never blamed KD. You know what I'm saying? KD playing those teams. Hashtag blame KD. And I'm going to just say this. If KD is so much high order, like Skip keeps saying, why he didn't bring a title to OKC? I feel like in OKC they were close. They were very close. They went to the final one time and they lost. They won one game. And in this game 2, LeBron got an automated call. That changed the series. When KD shot the ball and he hit them in his arm, that was a foul. They didn't call it. But game 3, game 4, game 5, KD didn't do anything. So they end up losing, even though I think he averaged about close to a 30 in that final. But still, you know, you didn't win a game outside of the game 1. So for me, it's like if he was so much high order, he was so much better than Steph, he can shoot over anybody, he should be able to win a championship for OKC.
He didn't bring one to Brooklyn. And what you do, you try to minimize how great Steph Curry is and how great that culture is in Golden State. By minimizing that, you try to accentuate Kevin Durant. I'm not taking anything away from Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a historically great player. But this notion that he would have 2 finals MVPs and two titles without Golden State is just not true. Because based on what we've seen in his career, he's gotten close no other place but Golden State.
What if we could see cyber threats in real life? Yesterday's technology can no longer stop them, but they can.
Did you happen to watch the playoffs 2 years ago, what he did to Milwaukee?
This nigga right here talking about the playoffs 2 years ago. Besides that, in the finals, Tyronn Lue came out and said his men prior, their defensive scheme was after Steph. They were not after KD. Their defensive scheme was for clearly Steph. They didn't want Steph to go crazy at all. That's what he said with his own mouth. Which tell me, then I went back and watched the finals. KD was playing one-on-one. Most of the final, he was playing one-on-one. He didn't have two people. He didn't have to like cross this person here and cross that person here, then go to the rack. Steph had to do that. Steph had to cross this person and cross that person, and 9 out of 10, LeBron waiting for him right around the corner because he was playing zone defense instead of stay on his man KD. So, bruh, KD, I'm not saying KD is not a great player. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you're looking at the level of difficulty for Steph, the fact that Steph was average what he averaged, bruh, it's hard. 2 elite defender, then 2 go to the rack. You know, meanwhile, KD got to play one-on-one. If you get to play one-on-one, of course you're going to get that number that KD get, 35 or 33, whatever he averaged for the both series. I think the first one he averaged 35, the second I think he averaged 33 and a half or something like that. I don't remember the number. But yeah, KD got to play one-on-one.
It was
Skip out the second
masterpiece.
round.
It was all time.
Skip out the
It was
second round.
virtuoso. It was Kevin Durant at his greatest. And he had no Kyrie, who got hurt and was lost.
Yeah, it was Kevin Durant at his greatest and take a L. That's what it was. Kevin Durant at his greatest, taking L's. That's what it was. He didn't win the series. That's why I'm telling you, man. If you listen to this fool right here, you'll think KD won the series. He did not. What happened last year? What happened last year? What are we talking about 2021 for? We got to talk about 2022. What happened? What happened last year? He got swept. He got swept. Game 1, he was no show. Game 2, he was no show. Game 3, in the fourth quarter, he become passive. He didn't score. In game 4, that's when he decided to show up. Dropping 34, it was too late. He was too late. Then he ended up getting swept.
For the last, 4 games.
Blame Kyrie.
And James Harden was playing on one leg and averaged like 11 points a
Blame
game.
Harden.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
No, hashtag tell truth. That's what I do. Hashtag tell the truth. Well, I mean, seriously.
Nah, you see, that's why Shannon Sharp is left in your dumb ass. Hashtag capping for KD. That's what you do. You cap for KD. Ain't no capping over here. We're not capping for no man. We tell it like it is. Bruh, all this man do is blame Westbrook for KD failure in OKC. Now in Brooklyn, he blamed Harden for KD failure. He blamed Kyrie. It's always somebody else to blame. Then blame Steve Nash. Then blame Sean Mark. It's always somebody else to blame except for KD. When you gonna hold KD responsible? Just like you blaming LeBron, you never blame Tom Brady the same way when Brady loses. You blame the defense, you blame this, you blame the coach, you blame everybody else except for Brady. Even though Brady can play like shit, you still don't blame him, you blame somebody else. Come on, man. You got to keep the same energy.
What are we talking about here? Can I please, as opposed to revising history, can we go back? Because you won't deal with this. Every time I bring it up, you just sweep it right under your carpet because you can't defend it. Can you tell the people at home what Steph Curry did not do in games 5, 6, and 7 of the 2016 finals, with 2 of those games at home and a 3-1 lead? Can you tell the people at home how bad he was as a 2-time MVP? Tell them to go look up how bad Steph was in those 3 games.
Was he as bad as Kevin Durant was in games 5, 6, and 7 in the Western Conference Finals?
Thank you, Shannon Sharp. Thank you, sir. That man was horrible in game 5, game 6, game 7. Y'all brothers can go out there and look at the number. KD was like 2 out of the games, he was like 12 from 31. And then game 6, he was 10 from 31. Bro, y'all need to go look at those numbers, man. In game 7, he didn't even do no much better. Jacking shots, a lot of shots. I think it was like 13 from 30 something. So yeah, go look at those numbers. You're quick to blame Steph, but KD came out short too.
When they blew a 3-1 lead, you want to address that. But let me guess.
I do address that. He was stuck with Russ just the way LeBron was stuck with Russ last year. Well, he was. Okay, can you tell the people how great Kevin Durant was in back-to-back game 3s in LeBron's house, face-to-face, nose-to-nose, grill-to-grill? By the way, can we see the shot that Kevin made in the 2017 game 3 that just changed the whole series? Can we see Kevin dribble the ball all the way up the floor and pull up right in LeBron's face, in your face, LeBron, and rip a 3-point shot that gave them their first lead? I mean, Kevin at his clutch greatest. That's who he was. That's why he was back-to-back MVP. He did it again in Game 3 the next year in 2018 in LeBron's house. The facts are the facts, but when it comes to Kevin Durant, nobody wants to deal with the facts.
Well, but I want you to show me those clutch moments in winning situations in OKC in the NBA Finals. I want you to show me that clutch moment in the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals with the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, I get what he did in Golden State. We got that in a nice little box. We're going to put that up on the shelf. Now go show me the 7, 8, 9 years in OKC. Show me the 2